Hey everybody, yep, I'm back again. So we're going to spend the next 10 or 15 minutes talking about banking, specifically for freelancers. And so there's a platform out there called Lily, and they're doing some kind of cool, interesting, different stuff. So I want you to know that you can ask questions. Hold on. We are here to not only answer your questions, but to kind of shine a light on the difference between traditional banking and banking for freelancers. So I want to go ahead and invite in Ayal. Hi Ayal, Levin, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you, Emily. Hello, everyone.
So, like I just said a couple of minutes ago, Ayal is with Lily Banking, and him and I got in contact with each other about a week, maybe a week and a half ago, and kind of turned me on to the fact that there was some different platforms coming out. Lily being one of them, and that's doing some stuff differently, specifically for the freelance industry. So, if you have questions, definitely make sure that you go ahead and start putting them in the comment box, and I'll make sure that Ayal gets them. He's going to do a super quick demonstration of what the platform looks like so that we have kind of a starting place to talk from.
Great. Thanks, Emily. And I'm going to pull up a short presentation like you mentioned. So hi, everyone. My name is Zayal. I head product strategy and business development at Lily. Lily is, as the headline kind of says here, we're a bank designed for freelancers. And I think, the important thing, or what I'd like to share with you, is our mission here is to basically empower the independent workers with the financial tools and services they need to balance their work and life in one account. And I'll touch on that in a minute. And what Lily is about, and a bit of the background that brought Lily into fruition, is the understanding that freelancers, independent contractors, sole proprietors, gig workers is becoming a major force, obviously, in the US economy. I think studies show that it accounts for about a third of the workforce, with 60 to 80 million people who are freelancing at any given moment. But when it comes to financial services, they're kind of underserved by traditional banks. So usually banks will provide solutions for small businesses that are catered towards small business loans, payroll solutions, kind of heavy lifting that the average freelancer probably will not need, at least not at first. And then the other side of the spectrum is personal checking, personal banking accounts, where again, freelancers have slightly more sophisticated needs relative to them, right? They're running a business, they have to pay a self-employment tax. There are certain things you need to take care of when it comes to your expenses that the traditional solutions for banking don't provide. So that's the space, and that's the background where Lily comes in, and where we are entirely focused on the freelancing community and their needs, and designing our products and services around that. And our ultimate goal is to become this all-in-one solution for freelancers' financial needs, and that touches on banking services, expense management, and tax savings tools, which I'll share a bit about in a brief moment. And so when you work with Lily, or when you use Lily, you'll enjoy some of the key features that I chose to highlight here. First of all, it's free. There's no fees, so no account fees, no minimum. If you use us to receive a direct deposit, you'll get your money 2 days earlier. Second thing is you'll receive a Visa debit card, business card that you can use anywhere. You get free ATM withdrawals within our network. And if you need to deposit cash, you can do so at some of the leading retailers across the country. And then our killer feature is the ability to manage your expenses in the app. So Lily is a mobile-only solution, and it's super simple. So today sometimes accountants might tell you that you should open a separate business account to run your business, and not that might be relevant advice and for some people useful. But with Lily, you can do everything under one account. So every time you swipe the card and you make an expense, you can immediately categorize it right or left, whether it's for work or for life. And then we help you automatically generate expense reports that you can use for your business, or you can use to pay your taxes. You can set aside fixed amounts to save towards your taxes, and we help you determine what's the right percentage to set aside. You'll receive automatic notifications for any transaction or activity, so you're always up to date. And we generate financial insights to help you better monitor your business activity, understand where your money's going and where it's coming from, so you're staying on top. So those are just some of the key highlights of using Lily. And that's it for in terms of presentation. And I'd be happy to kind of answer your questions and provide more information as you see fit.
Well, I'm going to kick it off because I'm kind of curious just so I'll just show this on here. It makes it a little bit easier. So what is the benefit of having an account with Lily versus a traditional bank?
Right. So I think the first and foremost reason is the fact that it's free. So there's no account fees and no barriers to usage. It's not a matter of minimum activity or minimum balance or some of the other schemes that usually traditional banks use. But aside from that, there's this whole idea of the fact that it's designed for freelancer needs. So it's not a bank account that you're using for freelancing. It's a bank account that was designed for freelancing. And that comes into play when you combine it with not just the debit card, but the expense management tool. So you can manage your expenses within your bank account. The tax savings tool. So the tax bucket is designed to help you save towards taxes. So we help you determine what percentage to set aside and then to use that to pay your taxes. So the automatic categorization of the expenses, the ability to export them if you need to your accountant or to Excel or to pay your taxes with them. So all of that is designed for freelancers. And on top of that, we have a very active blog and content platform that we support with articles and ongoing content. And it's all geared towards freelancers and their needs related to their money. So I mean, Chase, your Chase bank account might be, it's a great bank account, but it wasn't built and wasn't designed for freelancer specific needs.
Yeah. So, like, for instance, when I hear you say it's designed specifically for freelancers, one of the first things I think about is, freelancing is a lot of lifestyle, or it was for me. I've done this for almost 30 years now, and I can tell you that it's so much easier to be able to have something that comes up and then you just, like you said, swipe left or right. It's a personal expense. It's a business expense. Get it categorized, take a picture of your receipt. You're done. Right. Your accounting for the month or for that moment is done. Instead of trying to designate, because most of us don't enjoy sitting in front of the computer and going, okay, what was that? I was at that place. I went with this person. Yeah, that's, and then go put it in a category and stuff like that. So it can make a big difference in that space, I know.
Yeah, and I think also part of the understanding is, so studies show that I think 73% of freelancers in America are sole proprietors and use their Social Security right when they file their taxes. So what that basically means is that they're mixing a lot between work and life. Things are intertwined, right? When you go to shop for supplies, then you're probably buying office supplies, but you're also buying food for your house. So so the ability to now have that all integrated and not choose between different cards, or to understand that you can, like you said, swipe right or left within your app, and understand where the money's going and how to distinguish between your work and life expenses is the added value.
So can you go in and split that? So like, let's just say that I did run through. Do I need to? And I bought some printer paper, but I also bought some applesauce for the house. Do I still need to? I can use the same card, but do they still need to be two separate transactions so that I can swipe right on one and left on the other, or can I go in there and then split that and say this part of it was business and this part was personal?
So that's a feature that's literally being rolled out these days.
Okay. Okay. So feature forward.
Yep, exactly.
So we had a question: who funds Lily? How do they make money?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So first of all, Lily is founded by a couple of co-founders who had already built a digital bank overseas in Israel, and moved to New York and started here. So we're a team of a small team that has come that has experience within the field, and we've run and built a bank before. We're currently funded through investors. We completed our round A in September and actively working towards another round of funding. And so right now the company is back through funding. The way we make money is not from account fees. It's not from user fees. It's through interchange fees, which is a common way for financial institutions to make money through payments. But the end user, the end customer, doesn't pay any fees.
Gotcha. So what's the difference between Lily Banking and say like Chime and Novo and Oxygen, some of the other people that are trying to play in this space?
That's a great question. I think, first of all, when you look at, if I break it down into some of these, so Lily is kind of the only one that's really designed for freelancers and focusing on them and their needs and building the product and service around it. So, for example, as opposed to Chime, Chime is a great solution for personal banking, amazing neobank. It's unbelievable the growth that they're having, and good luck to them. But they don't have expense management tools built within. So it's not like you can categorize your expenses. They don't have designated tax savings tools that are built in. So they even though a freelancer can use them and they'll provide a great user experience as a bank, it's not entirely geared towards their needs for running a freelance business.
Okay.
Novo, my impression is that they are more tiered towards slightly larger small businesses. And so they provide more of the business, they're more competing with the traditional business banking type of services.
Okay.
And they've taken an approach that allows you to integrate a lot of other tools into Novo, and by doing that, maybe improve the experience. But that means that you'll still have to have 4 or 5 other tools to manage your freelance business. You'll still need your QuickBooks, your PayPal account, your Wave services. For invoicing, you'll have to use all these external services, and they'll allow you to integrate it. Okay. Whereas Lily is trying to bring everything into one space. So when you use Lily, you won't need all the other services as well. And Oxygen have taken a kind of a different approach, where you actually have to open 2 separate accounts if you're a freelancer and you want to separate between your business and your life. So even though it's when Oxygen, it's two accounts, and it's a different type of user experience in that sense. And also in terms of the categorization and the tax tools, they're also not so deep into that areas right now.
Because you guys have aligned your chart of accounts in the banking side and the tax side of this to categorize specifically to your Schedule C, correct? All right.
Correct, right. Once you decide or you define that an expense is a work expense, then it's automatically categorized based on the Schedule C categories, and that automatically generates a report for you at the end of the quarter so that you can use it to pay your taxes or get a better sense of your business.
So kind of a big topic that has come out of this year, Freelance Business Week, probably because it's just gone gangbusters on the markets and stuff, is cryptocurrency. So how is Lily managing, and what's your approach on cryptocurrency?
So I think our approach is kind of similar to what a lot of people are going through, which is, we're actively looking into this, excited, yet intimidated, all at the same time. But we definitely understand that there's something there, and that we see things are happening. We can also hear from our users and from our customers that it's a topic that is of interest for them. So we are looking into what we can do within the space and that we feel comfortable with and that would make sense for us. And also, this is an opportunity to kind of call out to the community that if we're looking for input and ideas and feedback related to this topic. So happy to bring the people into the conversation and help us design the right solution for our community, basically.
So how would you want somebody, real quick, in case somebody's watching this, and how would they connect with you? Do they just go to the lily.co site, or?
So on the Lily site, there's an area called partnerships. Okay. That is down at the footer. There's a link there that will open an email suggesting for ideas for partnerships. Okay. That funnels directly to me, so I'll happily follow up with anyone who looks for us there.
So we have a question from the audience: is how are the security features?
Right. So first of all, Lily is FDIC insured through our partner bank, Choice Financial. So it's important to note that your money is safe. In terms of security, we're compliant with all the major criteria for safety and security. We are monitoring any user that opens an account with Lily will go through what we call KYC process, and their application will have to be approved. So we make sure that proper identification is used, that the users are not on any suspicious lists or anything like that. All the transactions are monitored, and so in that sense, we try to abide by the high standard in terms of security and risk.
Well, we have a couple more minutes. I want to make sure that these other questions get answered as well. So how do I open an account? What do I need?
So opening an account literally takes 3 minutes. All the whole process that I just described related to risk and security is instant. So when you go to the Lily site or you download the app, you will be asked a few questions regarding personal details. So your name, your address, and so forth. You need a social security, a valid social security and valid ID to do so. And that's it. Once it's approved, it's instant, and you can go ahead and use the app. Your card will be delivered by the mail, but you can use a digital card to instantly use Lily.
So last question is, you talked about a couple of your competitors, for lack of a better term here, still needing to use other tools and stuff like that for your accounting and invoicing and stuff. Some of these I know you guys already cover, but yeah. How does invoicing and that kind of stuff work right now with Lily?
So a lot of this is covered. So for your basic needs, you'd be able to manage your expenses. You'd be able to save for your taxes and know pretty much how much you need to pay, or at least estimate that.
And align your taxes. Just real quick, I want to make sure that we re-say that your expenses are aligned with your Schedule C taxes and your categories. Go ahead. That's just correct. So huge to me.
It is. It really is, and it's a feature that a lot of our customers really appreciate. You can request payment from the app, so you can send a payment request to anyone. And like I mentioned earlier in the week, we're continuing to evolve these features and grow them into full-fledged business solutions. So you should join the ride, and we'll get you to where you need to go.
Well, thank you so much. Like I said, we had those few questions. That was wonderful. If you have more questions, still feel free to put them into the comments there, and me and Oriel will get out to them and make sure that he gets them so that you guys get responded to. Or you can just go to lily.co, send them a message there, and check it out. You really don't have a risk. Thank you again so much for coming out and sharing this with us.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, everyone. Please feel free to reach out.
All right. All right, so up next we have 100 freelancers talking money, and there has been some specific directions there on the website on how to take advantage of that and be a part of it. If you did sign up for it, make sure you check your email, because I also sent you that information via email. So I'm going to run, so I have a couple of seconds to take a break before we jump into that conversation with Jen. Woo, take a deep breath. We're plowing through. Bye, guys.